You don't want me to like go concourse detail on this thing, right? You
What's
drive
that
it.
mean?
You don't want me to go to the moon and sand this car and make it like absolutely perfect. You're still taking it to a car wash and everything, no?
Of course I'm gonna take it to a car wash.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. I'm not gonna do all this work because the 5 minutes that you're gonna take it in, you're gonna scratch it again. So we're gonna do.
Oh no, I'm not scratching this car, man.
Well, you take it to a car wash equals scratches.
No, it's touchless. The guy in Danbury. No. Oh,
What do you think?
My God.
So this is a 650i. You can see there are swirls everywhere. That's caused from going through car washes over the years.
Of course I'm gonna take it to a car wash.
Yeah. Likewise, you can also see the bra here, very old. They may not be applicable for your car, but this one is going to be removed. I'll show you some tips and tricks on how to do that. But overall, this is owned by my lawyer. He's 80 years old, completely insane. I love him.
Ric Flair ain't got nothing on me.
Oh,
Is this the one that you keep in storage? You never drive it? Jesus Christ, I heard about this car.
He is a workout and fitness freak. He's challenged me to do a push-up contest once I'm done with the car. If he can out push-up me, he's gonna get it for free. If I out push-up him, I'm charging him double, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm gonna get my butt kicked, apparently by an 80-year-old. Very exciting for me. What are we doing here? Oh.
You want to fool around with an 80-year-old? This is what you got to do.
All right, I'm ready. And he wants these wheels to be gloss black, so I'm going to surprise him with that. I'll show you how to do that, meaning not DIY. I'm going to show you where you can go to get them done. It's very inexpensive, and they're everywhere in your area. Likewise, if you look inside the car, not disgusting, but there is a waft of kind of mustiness in here, meaning it hasn't been cleaned in a very long time. I'll show you the step-by-step process for there. Very quick, very easy. And then back here, what I'm gonna do is a step down. I'll put a bunch of tape here. In this area, I am going to be doing a one-step, what they call cleaner wax or cleaner sealant. Here we'll do just a polish, meaning there's no protection on after that. Then we'll do a compound and polish. And I'll show you how much time it takes in between. So if you only have, let's say, an hour to do it, then I would do this. If you have a couple of hours, then maybe compound or polish. And if you want to do the whole step, you want to compound and polish, you'll need 5 or 6 hours. We'll go over all of that. You choose what works best for you. But first, we need to wash the car. Okay, for step one, we're gonna fill up our buckets, meaning the wash bucket and the wheel bucket before we actually wash the car. Now, there's a little bit of theory behind here. You've seen online, I'm sure, there's a 2-bucket method and a 3-bucket method. The idea there is to minimize the cross-contamination, which is a fancy way of saying when the mitt gets all dirty, you wanna try to clean off as much dirt on the mitt, then dunk it back into the soapy water and go back and wash the car and so on, right? And the idea is the wash mitt is something that is used on multiple cars all the time, and then you kind of wring it out, put it to the side. It kind of gets in this like a little rigmarole state. It's like really hard, and then you bring it back out again and you wash it. The new theory is to minimize the scratching that occurs during the wash. We use a 1-bucket method. The 1-bucket method, this is, by the way, a 2.5 gallon, not a 5 gallon. I fill it up a little bit less than half with water and soap. We can talk about the soap in a little bit. But for now, we take multiple towels. In this case, this is about 400 GSM, grams per square meter. It's very plush. So this is a little bit more on the plush side. So I like to use those for my wash towels. If you have thinner ones, you can use those as well. But in this case, we're just gonna use 2 towels, relatively small, average size car. But if I was doing a massive truck like that, I'd probably put 5 or 6 towels in. Here's why. Once you put the towel in, as it comes out and it's all soapy, imagine it's dripping with soap right now, as I pull it out, it never goes back in this bucket. So it can't cross-contaminate just by default because we're not putting it back in. Now, what's cool about these towels is you have, here it is right here, big full towel. I fold it once and I fold it twice. Now I have 4 spots. 1, 2, flip it, 3, 4, and then 4 more, meaning I turn the towel over, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 8 times that you can basically wash the car. I'll get you about maybe a little bit less than half the car. So in this case, I use 2 towels for the entire car. But as that side becomes soiled, I flip it and wash with another, a wipe with another side that's clean. Oh, that side is dirty. And then I flip and flip and flip. I do that 8 times. And then when it's done, I put it to the side, not in the bucket, and I go grab another clean one. If you do that alone on your wash, you won't have to go in and consistently on like every 6 months or whatever, polish the car because there's no scratches in it anymore. This is the key. This is like the pivot point for actually doing it in the right way. So when you see a lot of people who have these beautiful cars and they wash it themselves, they're doing this technique. Now, onto the wheels. When it comes to the wheels, there's a lot of cool tools that you can use. If you haven't seen these are called wheel woolies. You can see they're different colors and shapes and sizes. This one is incredibly long. So for really deep, let's say you have huge 21s or 22s and they have very fat rims, this is a great way to clean them. Same concept here. We even have little tiny ones. This is called a mini woolly. You can see it right there. Very, very tiny. And that will be great for calipers. Then of course we have lug nut brushes. The lug nut brush, you can see there's a little bit of a tapered end there. See how it's sticking up? That's great to get into the lug nuts in the bolts. And then we have fender brushes and tire brushes. So there's a bunch of tools that you can use to make cleaning the wheels a whole lot easier. Now that both buckets are full, we're gonna get into the rinse phase, and that has two options. First one here, you can see this is a power washer. The power washer connects and goes all the way under here. Again, we are in a professional environment. Do you need a power washer? Absolutely not. You can do this with a garden hose. The idea is with the power washer, you can see right here, these little areas that have a ton of extra dirt, that will be, in theory, blown off. And so that's less likely to scratch as you're washing it. It makes sense. That's why these become or have become so popular. The next thing is it comes with this. This is a foam cannon. You can see I attach it to the nozzle there, and you'll see in a minute, I'll foam everything down. You can do the exact same thing with a garden hose. I'll put a link down below. Use the garden hose, use that, and you can get the same sort of results. Now the difference here is this is 1200 PSI. That's about where you want to be as a, when you're using a pressure washer, especially in a professional setting. You can go higher if you know what you're doing, lower if you're not too sure. When it comes to a garden hose, those can only really run about 60 to 80 PSI, so you're not getting the same exact pressure. Does it matter? In some cases it does, but for a weekend warrior, a driveway detailer, I don't really think so. So a garden hose is perfectly fine. In this case, I'm going to use this with a wand that I have in there, and we're going to power wash it first. Then I'm going to pre-soap it. Pre-soap it means we're going to put soap on there, let it sit, and you'll see it start to drip off. The reason we're doing that is this paint is black. This is why all the scratches have occurred, is because people keep wiping it, or mechanical car washes, or, oh look, there's a piece of dirt here, and they wipe it. That's what causes the scratches. So rinse, then pre-soap. With the paint soaking, you can see it's actually just dragging a lot of that dirt away. I focus on the wheels. The first thing you want to do is, one, make sure that it's been pre-rinsed already. You don't want to work on warm or hot wheels. I don't even like to work on dry wheels. So there's a little bit of soap, there's a little bit of water here. The next thing is I take a cleaner. In this case, I'm using Plum Wheel Cleaner. There's a lot of, again, not controversy, but mixed feelings about using acid versus high pH. This is a high pH cleaner versus an acid. Acids are fantastic at working and grinding away at metals, in this case the shards of brake dust, but at the same time high pH also works, and it's a little on the safer side for the driveway detailer. With that in mind, spray a few squirts of Plum onto the face of the rim, the backside, and of course the caliper. Use your woolly by starting from top to bottom, making sure to get the back side of the spokes as well. If you don't have a woolly, that's okay. Use a designated towel for wheels only. In this case, I color code my towels to avoid confusion or possible cross-contamination. Blue is always for wheels and never for paint. But when you pull it out, notice this, the black stains right there, that's the metal shards I was referring to earlier. So if you were to go wipe your paint right now, you'd literally just scratch the entire thing because of those metal shards. Next, use the two-tier pointy wheel brush to get into the lug nuts in the tight areas, the mini woolly if needed, scrub the rubber, then the wheel well. I'll put a link to a video that shows what happens if tire dressing is left on the tire for super long periods of time and the car isn't driven or moved. It's called tire browning. It's really ugly, so stay on top of regular scrubbing. Rinse and move to the next wheel. Always work one complete wheel start to finish before moving on to the next one. As you switch from one side of the car to the other, hit the exhaust pipes as well with your wheel bucket and tools. As you can see here, the tailpipe, even after washing it, is still pretty dirty. So what I like to do is use 4/0 steel wool along with Plum Wheel Cleaner, give it a quick scrub. That baked on brake dust and grime is going to be lifted off pretty easily. Then afterwards, I work the other side, meaning the remaining wheels, before cleaning the engine bay. On most modern cars today, you can lightly rinse the engine while avoiding the air box and the battery, but for the most part, they're fairly robust if you're reasonable with your water usage. Then use the wheel bucket and tools to agitate the grease and grime. If it's really oily, then use Titan 12 degreaser. Luckily, this one isn't, so you can just rinse the engine. Then afterwards, I rinsed the soaking soap off the paint. Now that the wheels are clean and the pre-soak is now rinsed, I refoam the paint to agitate with the wash towel and the one bucket method we discussed earlier. Flip and fold as each side becomes dirty, then final rinse. If your paint happens to feel and sound rough, do you hear that noise? Then you need to clay your paint. Do it now with the paint wet and having a wash mitt full of soap, because you can use it as a lubricant and avoid having to buy a special separate clay lube. If you decide to go this route, just make sure to rinse your clay bar in clean, fresh water after using it in this method, because sometimes car soap can actually deteriorate the clay, but if you rinse it, you're in good shape. With the paint now clean, clayed, and still wet, dry the paint with a drying towel. Now, ironically, these are the exact same ones as the wash towel because they're so versatile. The difference is this one is freshly washed and it's not full of soapy water. Next, take that dry towel and then rinse it in tap water or hose water and then wring it out. The reason we do this is because the towel seems to glide easier over the paint and holds more water once it's a bit damp. Next, spray ammo hydrate on the towel before wiping. You'll notice that hydrate is very viscous. It's a little bit more of a blob, less of a spray. Hydrate is a lubricant, it's a drying aid, and it leaves behind a layer of protection during the drying process. I also encourage you to use compressed air, a leaf blower, or one of those warm air blowers as well to flush out the trapped water in the tight spots. Remember, drying properly is just as important as washing properly to avoid those scratches. That's why we use hydrate. That's why we use a lubricant during the drying process to avoid scratching. Now that the car is dry, I wanted to show you something before we move into the interior. You can see rust, very common. These are either, meaning the rotors are either steel or cast iron. As soon as they're exposed to water, it's gonna rust, fairly common. These are extra bad. Why? Because I've been filming today going through this whole process. I would have done this much quicker. The way you get around it is two ways. One, you use a lot of compressed air. You can use like a compressor or one of those warm air blowers and really focus on the instant you finish cleaning the wheels in terms of water, dry it off immediately, and that will have less moisture and less rust. The other way is because I let it sit so long because of the filming, I can back up and go forward, back up and go forward, and then squeeze the brakes so that the caliper squeezes the rotor and kind of just grinds that all off. It's not going to be a big issue. There's no problem with respect to driving and braking and that kind of thing. The only thing it's going to do is put some yellow dust down here, which is kind of a pain in the butt. It's so light at that point, and hopefully the wheels are now dry. You can hit it with compressed air, it'll blow it away, and you're good to go. So just keep that in mind when you're washing and drying your car. Try to dry the wheels and calipers really quickly. Now, because I'm doing something special for my buddy Mike, I'm removing the wheels at this point to go get them painted. We'll talk about that in a little bit. For now, though, let's move on to the interior. Step one is just to remove the garbage and the floor mats. On a normal maintenance wash, I'd be focusing on the steering wheel, the shifter, and the door handle right here. Those are the high traffic areas. But because we're doing a little bit more of an intensive wash, you can pick and choose based on what I'm doing right now in this video if you need a little bit more or need a little bit less. So in this one, because it's more on the dirty side, we're gonna go through and do a couple of different things. Right off the bat, you need a microfiber towel. I have an interior brush and I have a scrub pad. Now these go in order. So if I have the product lather, this is an interior cleaner. I'll show you how to use it. You spray it on, then you can quickly wipe it down and you're good to go. So that's kind of level one. Level two is spray it down. Then we use an interior brush, you can see, two-tier. It's a little bit more stiff on the inside and nicer or softer on the outside. So if you need more aggression, you push harder and you get stiffer bristles. Pretty cool. Then you go in and you agitate, then take the towel and wipe it. Step three, if it's really bad, you can use a scrub pad. So you would spray it down, use the scrub pad. That's a bit more aggressive, so you have to be careful not to lift any of the color. Or then afterwards you can go in with the brush. Then you can go in with the towel. So you see how we kind of went up? This is light, this is sort of medium, and this is a lot of aggression. So that's how you can kind of manipulate the interior in terms of how dirty it is. Maybe you have to change it up specifically for the door handles and those types of things. So what I'm gonna do is do the entire interior on this one. We removed everything first. Then I'm gonna work on the plastics and leather. Then I'll go in and vacuum. And it's outside the scope of this video, but if it was really bad, you can shampoo. So I'll show you some tips and tricks on how to do that without a shampoo machine. So let's get it done. Is an old piece of gum. We're gonna let that soak for a minute. Afterwards, I like to vacuum the interior next. Now, I prefer the crevice tool on the vacuum for everything because it's got a narrow opening, it fits into tight spots, and it's got more of a suction because obviously it's got a narrower opening. I'm not a big fan of the big flat ones that you usually find at, public car washes, that kind of thing. After the quick interior cleanup, if necessary, apply mousse leather conditioner to add some UV protection to the leather, especially if it's dry or cracked or just kind of getting old and hasn't been moisturized in years like this one here. After applying it, let it soak in for as much time as you have, then buff it to a matte finish. For the mats and carpets, I first vacuum everything up, then I spray shag carpet cleaner on the fibers, let it sit for a second, then scrub with a red stiff bristle brush to evenly distribute the cleaner. Afterwards, I re-vacuum because sometimes it brings up a lot of junk from deep within the fibers, and I blot with a microfiber towel afterwards, especially if it's really wet. For the gum stain you see right here, I use Titan 12 degreaser. Now this has a higher pH to loosen that bond between the gum and the fibers. Then I use my thumb to sort of scrape it off. With the mats now drying in the corner, I played with my little side project here, the old clear bra. To remove this, quickly boil 2 kettles of water and then pour it directly onto the old bra, again, 1 kettle at a time, using a towel to absorb the hot water and to keep it concentrated in one area. In other words, if you take the kettle and pour it on there, it's going to just fall right off the car and it's not going to stay and really warm that up. But if you put a towel on there, that's the trick. You want to keep it as warm as possible for as long as possible. Likewise, notice I'm not wearing any gloves right now because I need super fine dexterity, but your fingers and your fingernails, they're going to pay the price when you're done, so just be heads up on that. Also keep in mind, I'm not suggesting you need to remove your PPF before you polish the car. This one just happens to be super old from 2010, probably even earlier. However, if you need to remove it for whatever reason, hot water, in my opinion, is much better than steam or a heat gun. Again, that's all personal preference. With the bra now removed, now it's on to polishing the paint. When it comes to polishing paint, there's a ton of things that you can do that takes a long time and you can have perfect results. You can have a mirror if you want to. That's not necessarily the purpose of this video. I'm just trying to encourage you to get out and sort of rejuvenate the paint. So you can see here I have section 1, 2, and 3. It's what we call a step down. And I'm going to show the difference in how the paint looks versus how much time it took me to get there. So it's really up to you what you want to do. I obviously, when I'm working on a customer's car, typically spend time over here because they're willing on a Ferrari, let's say, to have me spend 2-3 days on it and they're willing to pay for that. In this particular case, we're more focused on this side. Why? Because the customer wants that. That's what they're willing to do. I want it to look good. It's a daily driver. I just really wanted to protect it. So I'm trying to inspire you to do the same thing based on how much time you have. So in section 1, here's what I'm going to do. Normally, I would use skin. Now skin, I've been playing with, that is a sealant and there's no restorative or abrasives in there, but I've been playing because I'm a crazy person with what we call a cleaner wax. In this case, it would be a cleaner sealant. So the way it works is I would use a foam pad, which I'm going to do, and I'll show you. Go through a couple of passes. It's going to make the paint look much better, meaning it's going to remove a couple of the swirls. If everything like on this side, no, but it's going to be incredibly fast. Now, the interesting part is when you're done, that's it. It's got sealant on it, meaning you've done 2-in-1 steps. Very, very quick, a couple of hours in your driveway and you're good to go. You can do it by hand or machine. Section 2, I'm going to be using exfoliate. Now exfoliate with a foam pad is going to take out more swirls and scratches, not as much as number 3 of course, more swirls and scratches, but when you're done, you have to add your favorite wax or sealant or whatever it is you want to put on to protect it. So you're going to get better results, but it does take longer. Over here, section 3, we're going to use exfoliate again, but this time we're going to use a wool pad first to take out all the deep scratches. Then we're going to finish up with a foam pad, and then after that we're going to put, just like we did before in here, waxes or sealants or whatever it is you want to use to protect it. So I'll show you the 3 different things, the time it takes and the results, and then you choose what works best for you. After polishing section 1, the paint is now rejuvenated, but there's still some deep swirls and scratches. However, it does look 100 times better, and it's also protected as well. Section 2 looks even better. The swirls are mostly gone. The paint looks slightly deeper because the swirls are no longer distracting your eye. This probably takes about an hour or 2 of polishing, but you do need to allocate some time for adding extra protection afterwards. So again, keep that in mind. Anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours if you decide to use a coating. For section 3, I used the same exfoliate polish as I did in section 2, but I also used a wool pad first to level the scratches, then followed up with a straight cut waffle pad to refine the finish. In other words, this is a 2-step process, then the 3rd step would be protection. Again, all of these products and kits can be found at ammonyc.com. Now, clearly this is the best finish, but it will take the longest time to achieve. Based on the size of this particular car, section 3 would likely be between 5 to 6 hours, depending on your skill, the type of machine you're using, maybe even longer depending on the protection you choose afterwards, so keep all of that in mind. In our case here, Mike wanted a quick 1-step cleaner sealant, so I worked on the paint for about an hour and a half or so with a Rupes 21-inch polisher, waffle foam pad, and my new all-in-one cleaner sealant prototype. After this, I'm working on my nemesis. My nemesis is the glass. By far, the interior windshield is the most frustrating part of any detail. Creating perfect glass in the shortest period of time is not as easy as it sounds on a car because 1, it's really awkward to get your hand into that tight spot behind the steering wheel, and 2, you're constantly dealing with the plastics gassing out on the inside of the car that cause sticky residue to form on the glass, making it challenging to have a streak-free finish. Here's the step-by-step process to create perfect glass. First, heavily spray the glass with Obey glass cleaning fluid. Next, use a scrub pad to lift and suspend the dirt, the grime, and the plasticizer residue off the glass surface. Then use a throwaway towel to scoop that all up. Afterwards, reapply a light layer of Obey and then squeegee. After the squeegee, then apply an even lighter layer of Obey and wipe with a waffle weave towel. Lastly, use a final wipe towel to dry any remaining streaks or cleaning fluid for a perfect finish. Obviously, that sounds like a lot of steps because it is, but I've found that this process, although tedious, is in fact the quickest way to create perfect, streak-free glass in vehicles. It's annoying, but you got to do it. Once all the glass was done, then I applied mud tire dressing to the engine bay and then buffed it dry to a matte finish, as well as the rubber on Mike's brand new gloss black wheels. As a surprise for Mike, you can see I got the wheels back. They look fantastic. Now, the interesting thing about new paint or new wheels or anything that's been resprayed is there's time that is required for it to gas out. Gassing out means all the solvents that are in the paint, the stuff that basically makes it spray out evenly, that needs to evaporate over time. Now, this was only, I don't know, maybe less than 24 hours old. So typically you need between 60 and 90 days. It depends on certain situations. It depends on certain body shops. In this case, I would normally put Gillet wheel coating on here. You always want to put a nice, strong, thick coating on wheels because they take such abuse. You can go in there and power wash them and it's easy to clean. I can't do that now. Why? Because the paint needs to gas out. If I put a coating on top of it, it's sort of like choking it. It won't breathe and you'll start to see little indentations, little weird things going on in the paint because it's preventing it from gassing out. So in other words, I'm going to put wax on it right now. So in this case, I'm using blush, which has a little bit of coating on there, so it's a little bit stronger. And I'm just going to kind of clean these up, give it an extra pop, and in the next couple of weeks, when he goes and washes it and plays with it and does whatever he's going to do with it, you can power wash it and you'll see it beat up and it's much easier to clean. But at the same time, it's not going to choke the gassing out process like a coating would. So we'll do this on all 4 wheels, put them on. I think he's going to be stoked.
Hey, Larry, nice to see you,
Good
man.
to see you.
Nice to see you. Hey, Jordan, what's up?
Come on in, check her out.
Oh,
what do you think?
My God, look at Mike. Oh my God, Larry, you are an amazing individual.
This is what happens when you actually wash it properly.
What a product.
And you love on it.
What a product you have. Oh my God. The wheels. Larry, you're blowing my mind, man.
What do you think of the surprise? I didn't tell you I was going to do those.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I told you I was like, I don't know if I can get them done.
Oh boy, wait till my family and friends see my short now, man. They're going to freak.
You have a
Move over, RX. Move over.
RX. R8. What's the matter?
R8, whatever that is. Oh my God.
80-year-old driving a murdered out 650i.
I love it.
I can't wait till you get pulled over and the cop comes
over.
Oh,
I can't
wait.
wait.
Look at this punk kid.
Yeah,
He's like, what the hell?
We're 80.
She's very clean. She's very sexy. Matches you. So, time to pay up, buddy boy.
Push-ups, bro.
Push-ups?
Yeah, man.
Oh boy.
Can I take my shirt off?
Well, I don't know. This is a family show.
I got to take my shirt off because you know my trainer wanted me to.
Oh, here we go. Let me take that off. Yeah.
Can I take this off?
Yeah. Here we
All
go.
right. So.
Oh, here we go. The guns are out now.
Look at the guns.
You didn't tell me you were going to do the wheels. You are a sweetheart,
You
man.
like that? Well.
How did you do that?
All right, where do we want to do this? How do I got to stretch. I got to like.
Let me ask you, is this a wall that I can get up? I can get up on this wall, right? That's for after we do our push-ups.
That's fair. Maybe on the thing. I don't want you messing up my beautiful wall.
No, I don't want to break this.
Boy.
No, I'm going to get up on the wall.
What about this over here? You can get up on this thing?
You got product to clean this, don't you?
No, I don't want you denting my wall. What about this thing?
I got soft shoes.
Yeah, I know you're gonna scratch it, and then I'm gonna look at my defeat for the next 20 years on the wall.
You have a mat?
Do you want me to hold you too?
No, you don't have to hold me, bro.
Oh
I just
my
want to
God.
know if you have a mat.
I don't have a mat. Get out of here, mats. What do you think this is?
You have a gym upstairs, don't you?
No, I took the gym. The gym's home now. What about you? Want to towel?
I can tell.
It's messed up.
1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Damn, look at him go there. 20.
This is the part where I have a conversation with you.
30 there. He's 30. He's cruising.
40.
What are we doing here? Oh.
You want to fool around with an 80-year-old? This is what you got to do.
All right, I'm ready. What? You putting your head there or something? What are you doing with this? Do I have to have an ambulance here or something?
For you.
For me? All right. Hi, yeah.
Not for me.
Hi, yeah.
Look at my car. Ric Flair ain't got nothing on me.
No, that's truth. That's funny. You do have the same hair.
I know. People have said, Ric Flair, Ric Flair.
Tell me what I'm doing. Oh, Madon. I got it. You are insane. So you put your feet up on the thing and then...
Yeah, and you got to be more vertical.
Go up.
You go up and walk towards the...
What do you mean walk towards you? Get out of here, just walk towards you.
Walk towards it, keep on going.
Get out of here.
Try to get as vertical as you can.
This is vertical.
Do it. 1, 2, 3. Come on, man. One more. 4. All right, good.
All right, sir. You officially win. You're a good man.
You faked the push-ups, right? You did me a solid.
Right. He's correct.
He did me a solid, Jordan. He did not. He didn't really. He did it because I got him by 36 years, right? Isn't that the reason?
I don't know. You did 36.
Absolutely. I was going easy on you.
That's what I thought.
I was definitely going easy on you.
That's what I thought.
Full of baloney right there. Looking good. You got to go terrorize some kids.
Ammo NYC forever.
You're the man. See ya. What a nut job. I love that guy. 80 years old, does all those push-ups. Now he's gonna go wreak havoc on the streets with these young kids that are murdered out 650i. It doesn't get any better than that. I'll see you guys next week. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that episode. Quick reminder, we have hands-on training in Denver, Colorado, June 18th, 19th, and 20th, a 3-day class with myself, Jason Rose, and Kevin Brown. We're gonna be talking about things from peak polishing performance all the way to how to read a P&L and what you should charge your customers. It's for beginners and masters, meaning people who've been doing it forever. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. I hope you see you there. I'm gonna put a link down below. We have a few spots left. See you guys soon.